Since January 2023, he has facilitated over 55 AI workshops, co-created over 25 AI upskilling programs, upskilled over 33,000 business leaders and professionals across New Zealand, Canada, India, Denmark, Rwanda, Oman, Tanzania, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, the UK, and the US. With an MBA specialization in advanced AI and automation, he possesses a solid foundation in technology, operations management, marketing strategy, and global business practices. He specializes in guiding businesses through the entire AI maturity model from level 1 awareness to level 5 transformative AI, ensuring they derive tangible value and gain competitive advantage. Is a member of the UNDP AI for Dev Reference Group and currently serves as a faculty member at Techidia Institute, where he has designed 5 AI in business programs, one of which is rated #1 in the world. Please join me in welcoming Orakwe John.
Okay, everyone, please can we give a round of applause to Mr. Orakwe John? Please send me your emojis. Give a round of applause. Put it in the chat. Can we show some excitement? This is free. Oh. Okay. I see the emojis coming in. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, Mr. Orakwe John, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Tolu. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, and thank you to everyone who made out time to show up for today's session. Right, promises to be full of insights and really practical to the degree that when you leave the session, you'll be able to do something with what you've learned here. Something which I hope will be very profitable, right? So also let me know if you can clearly, if you can clearly see my see my screen. Yeah, is it clear?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. So welcome to this session, AI and Creativity, for this audience of the Creative Mandate. So what we're going to do today is 3 things. I'll show you how to build mini AI-based mini apps that can problems. So it's important that everything we're doing today has a practical application. So it's not just that we're discussing these things and we're just learning and we're not putting into practice. So at the end of this session, you'll be able to build mini apps, AI-based mini apps that solve problems. And what that means is that if you can solve a problem for a business or solve a problem for whoever, chances are they're going to pay you for it, right? So we're going to be doing that. There's a business in Abuja. I was in Abuja 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that I did for them was we built this very simple AI application that responds to proposals. So when they get proposals from agencies or different institutions, whatever institution, public or private, they can use this RF responder to draft the initial copy of whatever they're going to respond to whoever is asking them to submit a proposal, and that saves them a lot of time. So in building this, this mini app and several other examples that we're going to look at, you'll find out that the game of AI is efficiency or hyper efficiency. So the truth is that if you introduce AI to a business and it's not saving them time or it's not making their work much more efficient, then something is wrong somewhere. It's not supposed to create more work for people. It's supposed to make their jobs easier. So we're going to look at how all of that play into each other. Then we're also going to do rapid prototyping, and then we're going to go from idea to prototype in under 1 hour. So what that means is that if you're in this class and you've had this idea for a product that you wanted to build for a very long time, we're going to look at some of the AI tools that you can use to bring that idea to life visually. So when I say visually, I mean that you can have a design of your idea, So you can create a design of whatever it is that you want to build. And then the final thing we're going to look at is how to create AI media for businesses. AI media for businesses in this case is that you can create very sophisticated images. You can prompt videos, and you can prompt all kinds of interesting AI media, even audio media. So I'm going to show you a bunch of tools and then see how you can apply it in a practical way, so that when you finish this session, you can start to think of how these things can help people that you know. Okay, so this is the objective. I hope it's really practical. But before we go into the practical session, I think it's important to explain what's happening now in terms of hold on. Okay, great. So I think it's important to explain what is going on in every possible term. So the AI revolution, which is happening now, is something that is fundamentally going to change how everything happens. When I say everything happens, I mean how work is done, how people are rewarded, how society is organized. That's how fundamental it is. And if you ask me about how deep it can go, I'd say that when we get to the point where we have something called artificial general intelligence, which is something that can learn on the job, a machine that can learn any skill and can perform virtually any task that we can do on the computer. At that point, it becomes a question of identity. So we then have to know, okay, who are we really? If the machines can do all these things that we used to think are valuable work, what does it now mean? What does it now mean to be to be a human? Right. So there are many. The depth of revolution is quite steep, and it's beyond all these tools that we're going to. It's beyond all these tools that we're going to look at. At the end of the day, it becomes a question of what does it mean to be a human being. What more is there to a human being if you take away the work that they do, if you take away all these physical things that we have to perform. So that's how deep it is. And because of the audience that is here, I've chosen to take a very interesting approach to what we're going to do today. So I'm going to show you two different statements or two different affirmations from two men of God. My apologies. I think people are still joining. I'm getting the prompt. So what we're going to do is start with a prompt. Let me let him into. Okay. So like I said, what is happening now is beyond just the tools we're going to look at. Everything we're going to do today is very practical, but before we get into the practical side of things, it's important to look at something that two different men of God have said. The first one is Tommy Arayomi. He's a prophet. He's a prophet, yeah. And then there's another one called Joel Ogigbe. Both of them have said things about AI that I believe capture the depth of what's possible. Okay, so I'm going to quickly play a video from one of them, and I'll read a tweet that the other person put out, just so that we understand. We have more depth into the reality of what could be happening now. So first, I needed to confirm that
I saw the Lord extending the timeline. The year was 2035. Science, tech, AI, and religion. Saw the Lord.
Okay, great. So I'll play the video, and then I'll just provide some context into what he was saying and why he said it. And then this is just to tell you that what is happening now is beyond the tools and the transformation of how we work, right? I'll play this video and then we go into the practical parts. Yeah. So let's start now.
I saw the Lord extending the timeline. The year was 2035. Science, tech, AI, and religion had joined hands into what appeared to be an entirely innocent alliance. I found myself in 2014. And listen, I couldn't see iPhone or Apple or any of those companies anywhere even in existence, but man had outrun themselves and were no longer entirely in charge. 2035 was the beginning of utopia and Pandora's box. But 2040, the utopia seemed to descend into a dystopia. Man, for the first time, was no longer the apex. Our creations were now creating themselves. Cancers were being all but eradicated. Men were making medicines that seemed to erase the death gene. Babies that were in certain countries being mandated to be microchipped from birth. I saw Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, and much of Western Europe becoming forefront leaders in a world order. Then the Lord brought me back to 2025 and he said these words: you have 5 years left. 5 years I will give you to build your ark. 5 years to build your Goshens. 5 years for the church of my people to decide whether they want to be the head or they want to be the tail.
Okay, so this video is so that I buttress the point I made earlier that what is happening now is, beyond just this transformation of work that we're going to talk about. And the game of AI, as I've said, and as I've said on many stages, in Nigeria and every other country I've been to, is that the work that you do, the work that you used to do in 5 hours, you'll be able to do it in, 50 minutes, in some cases 25 minutes, or maybe even 5 minutes. In the case of the RFP proposal, the proposal agent that we built in Abuja, what these people used to do in 3 weeks, they were able to do it in they were able to use AI to do this in 30 minutes.
The timeline.
Right? So another person who said something about what's happening now is Joel Ogebe. So he said, as a prophet, I'll tell you today a little about the future and what I saw about AI technology, because many are still sleeping and unaware. And so the wealth and power that this technology will bring is slipping past them. If you do not take advantage of AI now, if you do not build, innovate, and pioneer within the AI space, if you do not invest in knowledge, understanding, and integrating AI into your business or skill set, you will be left behind within 5 years. And in 10 years, you will tell your children, I knew when it was still young and I did nothing. I've seen immense wealth within the AI realm. I saw university students researching AI and emerging with companies that shook industries. I saw the future applications of AI. It was mind-blowing, world-shifting, and amazing. But I will not speak of all of them yet, lest I reveal an idea God intends to entrust to someone. Hear me. AI will open gates of wealth that many will miss merely because they joke with it. AI is for this generation, not for our parents. If you don't dominate it now, the Gentiles will. And you will only tell your children how, in the early days of AI, you were busy making funny pictures while others built empires. Many jobs will disappear. But I saw those with AI maintenance, training, and systems knowledge becoming highly sought after, almost untouchable. Let me give you one insight. I saw airplanes flown entirely by what they called AI pilots. So let me just let somebody in. Somebody's waiting.
I saw the law extending.
So it says, I saw airplanes flown entirely by what they call AI pilots. They could scan the aircraft, read every detail inside and out in 360, and their precision was flawless. I saw many more industries transform, but it's not yet time to speak to them. Go and pray for inspiration. Ask God for ideas in AI technology. Learn it, invest in it, build on it, because AI will soon control a third of human civilization, a third of global finance, and a third of modern warfare. Those who prepare now will rule tomorrow. So it's important to put this in context, not from a scientific perspective, but from people within the church who have the gift of vision and who have to some extent been shown what is possible with this technology. The good thing is that both of them said this thing at different times. Tommy said it first. He made his own video first. Then the second guy, a few weeks later, said something similar. And even the way I got started in this space is that somewhere around 2022, I just got the inspiration to go in this direction and do what I'm currently doing. So it's important that you don't see AI as ChatGPT, but as something that will shift how civilization is organized. There will be new industries that will come into play. There will be entirely new roles that nobody knows about yet that will come into play. And the people who will dominate all those spaces are those who are learning the technology now, investing as much as possible into building with it and understanding how this will shift civilization. Is a technology that will change society fundamentally. That's how you should think about it. And the reason why I say you should think about it like this is because of something that happened in 1997 and 1998. So in 97, that was the first time that a computer, right, would beat a human at a creative game. It was a game of chess. A Russian grandmaster, Garry Kasparov, lost the game of chess to IBM's Deep Blue. This happened in 1997. Then in 1998, a follow-up game was played. So you had, in this case, it wasn't just human versus computer. In 1998, what was played was human plus AI versus human plus AI. Now, before that game was played, before this human versus AI versus human plus AI versus human plus AI, before it was played, you have these two men you're looking at on the screen now, Kasparov and Topalov. They are two grandmasters. But the person who is superior to the other is Kasparov, because he's an excellent chess player, number one in the world at the time. So the first game that was played, human versus human, it ended 3-0. So Kasparov beat Topalov 3-0, the first game that was played in 1998. So when they now paired them, Kasparov plus AI plus a computer running a chess game, and Topalov plus AI, another computer running a chess game, the game changed from 3-0 in favor of Kasparov to 3-3. What that means is that when you learn to use this technology, if you're a project manager, if you learn to use technology, it can help you cancel out the calculative and strategic advantage that somebody who is better than you has over you. So let me repeat what I said. You hear things like ChatGPT has passed CFA level 3 exam or has passed the operations management course at one business school in the world. What was where that happened? You hear all of these things from different news reports. What that means is that if you are in a job where AIs can now do a really good job, right? What it means is that if you learn how to do it really well, if you learn how to use it really well, you can be as good as the best in the world in your field. Just learning how to, if you learn how to use AI to do, you're to be afraid of it, but to understand how it's changing how you work. In fact, last night something happened. My friend recently left Knight Frank. What they do at Knight Frank is they do evaluation, real estate valuation. He left Knight Frank and started his own company. So he reached out to me that he wants to do, and of course he recently won a contract. He's doing valuation for 5 different sites across Nigeria. So he reached out to me that he has a problem. He wanted to do Gantt charts that would help him like visually represent the project deadlines for all the 5 projects. You know what I did? I didn't open Excel or I didn't go to Excel or any complex software. I simply went to Gemini. We're going to use Gemini in our practical session today. Went to Gemini, uploaded the Excel sheet that he gave to me, and then I asked Gemini to analyze that data and give me Gantt charts for all the different sites. It did this job in under 3 minutes. If I was to do it manually, if I was to go to Excel and ask Excel to do all that stuff for me, it would take me nothing less than 30 minutes. So you see, 3 minutes, 30 minutes. There are many tasks that we do today in the office that will follow that same pattern. It doesn't mean that AI can do everything. There's something called the remote labor index. At this time, the AI systems can only flow through just 2.5% of economically viable or valuable work. So what that means is that if you are taking the whole of what a person does as a job, AIs can only do about 2.5% of them. So the fear of these systems is not exactly rightly ordered, as the case may be. So back to this story that I was telling you. What happened in this case was, from moving from a game that was 3-0 to 3-3, it showed that the calculative and strategic advantage that a superior professional has over an inferior person, AI can help that inferior person level up. So this thing is called Kasparov's law of applied AI, which means that when you have a well-defined process, that you've defined your process and how you create value. You've like said, okay, I get emails, I do lead enrichment, I do outreach, I do all this. Let's say you're in the sales department. If you're able to articulate what you do in the clearest possible way, you can then identify all the opportunities that AI can help you to automate, and you can build those automations yourself. We're going to look at how you can do this in the concluding parts of this our time together this afternoon. So the reason this story you've heard is why you often hear people tell you that AI is not your threat, or someone using AI to multiply their output, whether to 5x their output or to 10x their output. That's your greatest threat. And then if you go to some companies in the world today, they are adopting it fast because they can see this. They can see this this thing I've told you about, the calculative and strategic advantage of AI, of using AI. So even if they have someone who is not great at their job, if this person learns how to properly define their process and learns how to work with machines without sacrificing their human agency, without sacrificing their ability to judge situations or judge results, they can be really, really good at their job. So if you go to Barclays, for instance, in the UK, they have over 100,000 employees. What's the situation there today? They bought Microsoft Copilot licenses for all their staff. So you can imagine a company of 100,000 people, and all 100,000 of them have Copilot. So Copilot can help them to draft emails, draft documents, review documents, do analysis of all kinds of data sets, no matter how big. And then if you go to another company, Replit, coming into this year and in late 2024, they were struggling at the time. So they decided to lay off half of their staff. And you expect that if a company should lay off half of their people, they will suffer. But they laid off half of their staff, and guess what happened? Their revenue increased by 10 times. Their productivity increased by 5 times. What happened? The people who were remaining, the employees that were remaining, were people who could use all of these AI agents to create incredible value. And then if you go to another place in the US, the state of Pennsylvania, what they showed last year was that if you give access to GPT-4, which was one of the state-of-the-art models at the time, to government employees, I think it was about 125 government employees, that these people can save as much as 105 minutes per day. So what that means is that instead of working a 40-hour work week, the system enables people to do a 32-hour work week. That's how fundamental the shift is. And it's only going to get people will only be able to work less and less because of this reality of AI agents. So AI agents are simply systems or machines that you can tell them, oh, this is a piece of data, I need you to analyze it, or I need you to do something with this information. Can you represent it in a different way? And it would build something for you. The example I gave earlier of my friend who last night told me that he had a problem. He wanted to do Gantt charts for 5 different project sites in Nigeria. And I fed it to Gemini. So you can think of Gemini as a data analysis agent. It simply gave me the Gantt charts for all of these different sites. I didn't have to open Excel or any complex software. So what's happening is that every company that you know, MTN, NNPC, which other company, ICO Insurance, so every company that you can think about in Nigeria and everywhere else in the world, all of them are going to go through an evolution over the next 5 years. Right? Everybody is going through an evolution over the next 5 years. Let me just let somebody in. Okay. So they're going through this evolution where they go from level 1, that's human assistant, to level 2, then to level 3, human-led agent operator. So what that means is that no matter what you do, you're going to be working with teams of AI agents. So think of it like this. If you open Microsoft Office or Microsoft Office, which is Microsoft Word, or Microsoft Excel or PowerPoint, if you use any of those applications, or even if it's Canva, or I don't know what application you use every day, but think of it that these applications that you currently use, before now, you have to give it every instruction. You have to tell it everything, but you have to do everything yourself, right? So if it's Canva, you are doing all the designs or moving objects around. If it's Microsoft Office, you are creating all the you are typing all the words. If it's PowerPoint, you are fitting in all the images and everything. But every software that we use is going to become agentic. Agentic is that it will have some kind of brain, but it's a machine brain. So the machines will be able to create value on your behalf. And every company is going to go through this. So part of the value of a class like this is that, so you understand that everybody's going to go through this evolution. It's inevitable. So how then do you start to prepare yourself now so that when, let's say, for instance, Replete, I mentioned the example of Replete, if they're looking at, let's say, firing half of their staff, how do you ensure that you're part of the people who remain, or maybe if you want to help companies adjust to this new future, how do you help them get into that future? There's so many possibilities. So what I'm going to do, part of what we're going to do is just explore these possibilities, do some practicals, and then you can branch out into whichever direction you choose to go. Another thing to note is that, like I said earlier, every worker is going to lead a team of AI agents. It's inevitable. So whenever you're thinking about the future of work and you're thinking, so what are we going to do in the future? How is the future going to look like? One of the clearest indicators is that you're going to be leading a team of AI agents. And the reason why is because of something called this task completion time horizon. So every 7 months, actually is now every 3 months. Every 3 months, what these agents can do actually doubles. So if, for instance, you're trying to use an AI agent to create a full landing page, you're trying to use it to create a full landing page. It can do it now, but if you tried it at the beginning of this year, it was a very difficult thing to do. A difficult thing to do because even if you have a landing page, you may not get a form that works, or even if there's a form there, it's not working as intended. So there were many issues that you would have encountered at the beginning of this year. But right now, if you prompt a full landing page, you can get a form that works. You can get you can insert a WhatsApp link that when they click, it takes them to your WhatsApp. You can insert maybe a cart or your different e-commerce or possibilities. The agents are getting better and better. The models are getting better and better. So even if you see something that it's really bad at doing now, chances are in 7 months' time, in 4 months' time, even the AI will be able to do all of that stuff. So and then before we get into the practical as well, it's important for you to understand something called the 3 types of AI workflows. So you have non-agentic workflow. Non-agentic is that every time you go to Gemini, and you will see it when we start the practicals, I'll tell you when is agentic or non-agentic and when we're working with AI agent. So non-agentic is every time you use strategy, you ask it to maybe give you a message or to help you draft an email. That's a non-agentic approach to work. Agentic workflow is when we work with the design agent, you see what that looks like, or maybe the data analysis agent, you will see what that looks like. So you give it a goal, you give it an objective, you tell it to do something for you. It will generate a plan. It can pull many different resources to do the work for you. So it check a bunch of resources on the internet, and then it gives you the output. Then it will ask you if you're satisfied with the results. If you're satisfied, you can accept it. If not, you can just keep iterating until you get your final output. And then AI agents proper are systems that have access to, say, your calendar, for instance. They have access to your calendar. They have access to many different things that are your digital assets. So if, let's say, you are going to, Abuja next weekend, and you have an AI agent that knows your calendar, you can ask it, I'm going to Abuja this time next weekend. Is there any other event that I should be I have at that time? So if there's a clash, you can check your calendar and tell you, something else was previously scheduled, maybe a meeting with a couple of friends or so. That's how AI agents function. So we're going to practice all 3 of them. But before we get into the practical again, I think it's important to talk about this other thing about the future of work. If you go to a company that is pursuing AI maturity correctly, a company that is evolving correctly, one thing you will notice is that if you meet a young person there, let's say you meet someone who is in marketing, you won't be able to tell that the person is in the marketing department. And you know why? Because these companies have encouraged and have incentivized their employees to work with as many AI agents as possible. So somebody who is in marketing, if you give them a very big data set and ask them, I want you to analyze this data set and give me, visualizations of all the most important insights in this data set, they'll be able to do it. Right? It may not be their primary concern, but they'll be able to produce something that actually works, something that's decent. And maybe you meet somebody who's in operations and you ask them, oh, I need you to make a video or maybe draft of a video, a promotional video that we can use for our social media, and it has to feel like this or like that. They can give you something that looks like it's high budget. And the reason is because they have access to AI video generation tools, agents that can make all of these incredible videos for them. So what is happening now is that you cannot now say that you're an expert this or like an expert in this particular field, and that's the only thing you can do. To be like that now is to almost say that you don't want to be relevant in the future. So what I'm saying here is expertise in the future is going to be about your ability to command many different agents to produce valuable work, right? So it wouldn't matter as much that you're a designer or you're a product manager or project manager or you're an analyst or you're an operations person. You should be able to command a bunch of AI agents across many different domains to create value, right? And this is something that a lot of companies find valuable. So there was a report from last year, the Microsoft Work Trend Index from last year. I haven't read one for this report. As of last year, 66% of managers said they will not hire anyone who does not have AI skills. So what that means is that these companies are, prioritizing AI literacy more and more. And in fact, there's another report from McKinsey, Agents, Robots, and Us that was released November 25 of this year. In that report, the key thing that was noted is that AI literacy grew 7 times. So the demand for AI literacy grew 7 times in 2025 alone. So you can expect that, going into 2026, most companies, when they're hiring, or maybe even if you're a freelancer, what most people expect is that they want rapid turnaround time, because they expect you to use all of these different AI tools to create things when they assign tasks to you. And then there are companies like JP Morgan. We won't spend too much time here, but they're using all of these different AI tools to create incredible value for themselves. Like they're investing about $2 billion every year into many different kinds of AI tools, and they're seeing returns on all of those different AI tools. Like contract intelligence, they use that to save up to 360. So the key thing to note here is that every time that you talk about AI, it shouldn't be it's not that you're not building it for fancy purposes. You're building it so that it can save time for the business. So let's say you're going to approach a business tomorrow and tell them there's this AI tool that I think you guys can use for this or that, and I can introduce you to it. The only reason why you should be talking to them about it is that you've seen that this is something that can maybe save them 5,000 hours annually, or maybe 10,000 hours annually, or that kind of, or however much time you're going to save them, or maybe improve the quality of their work. There has to be a way to justify whatever they're going to spend on buying that tool or paying for employee training on whatever kind of engagement you want to have with them. So the first thing we're going to look at is a very simple form of automation. It's called custom Gemini, right? Now I said that I was in Abuja 2 weeks ago, and the reason why I went there was because there's a company called ABDC, right? ABDC, they do tax advisory, accounting, and legal advisory as well. So I was with them, and over the course of 2 days, so we did 9 hours on a Friday and another 9 hours on a Saturday, we built a simple automation, a very simple automation that cut down the process for them to respond to proposals from 3 weeks to 30 minutes. So they can get a draft of whatever response in just 30 minutes. So I'm going to just show you how something like that can be built. So for this, what it means is that if you know any business process, especially something that is based on text, right? Something based on text, like proposal, responding to proposals, or maybe I wouldn't say CV writing, but I mean I think CV writing might also cover if you have many different samples of great CVs. But responding to proposals, drafting very large documents, and what have you, you can build something custom that behaves in a particular way. So when I say behave in a particular, I mean this. If you go to a company, they may have a way that they respond to proposals. Even if, let's say, the person who is requesting them to send a proposal has said they want this section included and that section included, and let's say 13 different sections. There's a way every company writes. There's a style that they all have. So if you go to a client now, you're telling them, I can build you this automation with an AI automation that can help you in this particular way. So you used to do this stuff in 2 weeks. I can help you do it in 2 hours or in 20 minutes. Everybody is interested in that kind of thing. One way to do it is using something called custom Gemini. So I'm going to now leave this screen. I'm going to leave this screen, and these 5 steps you're looking at here, we'll go through all the 5 steps. So we'll go to gemini.google.com. We'll click on custom gems. We'll name the custom gem. We'll enter the instruction. That's the system prompt, and then we'll not upload the knowledge base for this, but I'll explain to you what the knowledge base is. So when you're experimenting on your own, you know what to do, right? So let's now go to. So I'm going to this, right? Okay, so let me go back to normal chat so you see everything happening here. So the first thing we're going to build is a custom version of Gemini that allows us to automate something, or that allows us to create some form of value. So the first thing I want is that so I mean, you can give me an idea in the chat if whatever we can build. So you can give me an idea in the chat what kind of problem we're going to solve. You can type in the chat. If there's any business problem that you want to use AI to solve, just let me know, and then we can build it. So we're all working together. So for instance, we can build something that does, maybe there's something that gets all the events that are happening in Lagos this December. So there's a lot of events happening in Lagos in December. We can build something that aggregates all the events happening in one space. The ticket prices, and what have you, right? So you can give me ideas. You can give me ideas in the chat if you have anything you think we should build. Okay, so Tolu has raised a hand. Yeah, please go on.
Very similar to your own. I was thinking, is it possible to do one where, so for me, I do drinks for events. So I want to know if maybe you can help me scrape people's weddings, so I can send them them.
Okay, great, perfect. That's a perfect solution. So let's build something. So Tolu makes drink, right? So we're going to build an agent that goes out to about to wed, that scrapes the internet and looks for about to wed people. Maybe Instagram. I think Instagram is a place where people are always announcing that they're about to wed. So let's see if this can actually help us. Right. So first is first. So we're making a custom gem, right? Let's get the system prompt that would do this for us. So first thing is always you will get the slides after, so you can just pay attention to what's happening. So just pay attention to what's happening. I'll send you the slides after this, and then you can practice on your own. So, and of course, this is also being recorded. This entire session is being recorded. So when we finish, you can get the video and play back. Even though I'm a Solomon, you may have to edit it afterwards so that you just cut out all the unnecessary parts. So yeah, so let's start. I want to build an agent. So I'm on Gemini.google.com. I want to build an agent that finds me leads for my drinks business, right? So Tolu, please feel free to correct me whenever I go out of range. I sell drinks to events, right? To events. So do we
I sell
include
drinks for
vendors like
events.
for
Yes,
events and I'm assuming that you work with vendors as well. So like relationship with many vendors. So like whenever a vendor has something, they just call you, right?
yes.
Okay. I need to script for an exhaustive list of vendors, list of vendors. Is this the entire country or just Lagos?
Let's start with Lagos. Let's do the entire
Oh,
country.
okay. All right. Event vendors in Nigeria, right? Get me their names. So one their names, websites if they have any. If you have any, and phone numbers if it's available on the internet. If available on the internet, right? Also, script Instagram and any other sources for about to wed couples, right? And upcoming events. Give me the system prompt. So what I want is the system prompt. I'm going to use this to build something else. Prompt for this agent. So I'll copy I'll copy this entire thing that I put here. I'll put it in the chat, right? So that we can try a similar thing. So I use Gemini to do this. So it's in the chat now. Yeah. I pinned it in the chat. So let me go back to Gemini. Okay, so I've sent it now. So let's see what comes out of this. So again, what we're doing is that we want to create a custom model, just a custom system that only responds to this particular business need. So every time I come to it, it will just give you a list of about word people, upcoming events, and everything happening around town. So I can then reach out to those people and maybe pitch them my business. In this case, to lose business. Okay. So let's wait for it to finish. Okay, so okay. Okay, so I think it touches on the significant legal and ethical boundaries in Nigeria's Data Protection Act 2023. Okay. Okay, so but we still have something like it's an event scout. So okay, track detail. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Okay. So it will find event vendor leads. It will identify upcoming public events. It will Instead of finding couples directly, gatekeepers who manage them, find ashrabi fabric merchants and bridal shops. They meet the couples months before the wedding. Great. So it's giving you ideas of things that you can actually can actually do. So what I also want is that the prompt is fine. So I want you to so when you meet this agent, it should also do something called like finding out from you. So if you prompt the agent, like you start to chat with the agent, it should ask you what's your location and what's your current location, right? So that it can give you a list of vendors in that particular state, right? So we'll do that later. Let's just get the prompt. Let's just get the prompt that has given us already. So this is what we have. Let's copy it. Just copy. Hit copy right here. We've copied all the prompt that that's given us. So let's now go and build something that can help us in this regard, right? So to build, we're going to this place called gems right here. So click on gems. Here you will find many different gems that are already here. So these are things I built before, right? So to build that AI that behaves in that particular way, you click on create new, and you have name. Let's call it event scout. Event scout. Description. Find events in every Nigerian city, right? Nigerian city for my drinks business. Great. So the next thing is to give it the instructions. Yeah. So this is the instruction we got from Gemini. So we took the instruction. We told Gemini what we wanted to build, and told it to give us the instruction or the system prompt, which we fed into this one. Okay, and then we can save. If you're building something that is, let's say for an office, like that example I gave earlier, where you're building something that can help them to respond to proposals. So people ask them to submit a proposal, and you're building something like that, you will have to update this knowledge base. So there's a knowledge base that allows you to upload files or photos or even code. What that means is that you can give the agent context. You can give it the ability to produce the results in a particular style. So, but let's just test Tolu's Event Scout and see how that works. So let's start a chat with it. Once we finish, you can start a chat. So hello. So this is the event. Hello. So let's say hello to it and find out how it works. So it's working, and then okay. So hello, I'm Event Scout. It is Saturday, December 6th of 2026. We're right at the start of 30 December, the peak season for hospitality in Lagos. If you're a drinks vendor or service provider, speed is of the essence right now to secure last-minute slots while simultaneously planning for Q1 2026 corporate pipeline. Here's your scout report focusing on high potential B2B leads and opportunities in the Nigerian market compliant with NDPA 2023. So first is Zafire Events, the planner, Lagos Ikoyi, info@zafire.com. We have Bamora Group, venue promoter, Lagos via info@bamora.com.ng. We have Malas Foods, they're a caterer, Lagos Surulere, and they're available on Google profile, right? You have IPC Events, they're a planner, info@ipcevents.com. You have the Monarch, Lagos Lekki, you can check their website for contact. Then you have upcoming public event opportunities, December 2025 to Q1. You have the December rush. Okay, so you have what's the organizer? eDrink Lagos. You have so you have the gatekeeper. So it has given you different possibilities. So instead of going to the events vendors and all the other opportunities above, You can go to the people that help them plan weddings. So you can go to bridal shops and fabric merchants, right, and offer them some commission. If you recommend drink service to brides, they get 5% of the total booking fee, that kind of thing. And that's also giving you, different bridal options. Hadassah Bridals, April by Kombi, Fabric Markets, right. So it's showing Ikorodu because I'm currently, I'm currently in Ikorodu right now. So it's it would show all these options. So the thing is, you can fine tune this gem to further behave in a way that captures how the Lagos market is. Because there are many things that it will miss. You can ask it to give you a list of, like, what we're seeing here is just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5 people, right? You can ask it to give you a list of 20 event service providers, in this category. And then you can ask it to also do, let's say for these gatekeepers, you can ask it to get you 20 gatekeepers, or even 100 gatekeepers. So if you're meeting these people, you're not taking the long-term approach of, when people come to buy materials for weddings at their shops, they sell your service to them because they're going to get a 5% fee. So there are many ways of working with this, but what the lesson here is that if you want to build something, just a simple automation that can behave in a particular way. The example we looked at is events scouting. You can fine tune this, you can build something and then fine tune it so that it behaves exactly as you want. So when I say fine tune, let's now go to, let's try to make it give us 100, let's try to make it give 100 events per, like 100 person, 100 businesses per category. So let's change that. Let's see, this is the, okay, no, this one. Okay, great. So this is the system prompt. So let's now tell it, adjust the system prompt. I want a list, adjust the system prompt. I want a list of 100 leads. And give me the messages. Sorry, let me adjust this. Oh, sorry. Give me the message to pitch them. Right. So let's see how we can make that mini AI app behave in a different way. So what we're going to change is the instruction of the gen. That's the system, the system prompt. We're going to feed it to the instruction part. Everything you're building, like anytime you're asked to build an AI agent, there's always a system prompt that controls how the agent behaves, right? So what we're trying to do now is to adjust the system prompts. So you can see batch 1, top event planners in. Okay, somebody else is trying to join. Let me see if I can let them in. Hold on. Dude. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to Gemini. Hold on. Okay, so we've altered the system prompt. Somebody else is trying to join. Just give me a second. Okay, so let's now carry that system prompt that we've got to. Let's now take it to the event scout we've just built. So let's edit it. You can edit whatever you've made. We're editing the instructions. That's how we want it to behave. All right, so let's edit it like this, right? Update. Oh, fantastic. So we've updated it. Let's now say hello to it. Hello. So it's you would always tell you everything that it's trying to do, like everything that it's doing. Whenever you speak to it, you just okay. So I'm a lead generator. I'm ready to execute your site proposal. So just giving you 100 high quality B2B leads for your drink supply business. As per your operational constraints, I will execute this in batches of 20. Right. So batch one, you have Zafar event, VI Lekki, you have event limited VI contact name. So let me see if I can magnify this so that we start chat. So it looks like you have numbers for each of these. The numbers will be fake, so you have to you have to try. Right, 2706 events. You have Trendy B events, Coca Creative. You have Ital events, Busy Bee event, all the way to just wedding. So you have all these people, and you have contact name if available: Funke Bokno, Mosumola, Diola, Okeshola, Bisola Boha. It looks like these are the numbers. You have to, check to be sure. These are their IG handle. Looks like these are their IG handles. So if you want to like check out all of them, and their phone and WhatsApp. I'm ready to proceed to batch two, wedding planners in Abuja. Would you like to generate the next 20 leads? So you can just keep going like this, and then this becomes your, custom lead generation for, how you get new clients. And another thing is that you can ask it to generate the messages that you can send to these people. So if you're confused about how to approach all of them, you can generate messages for all of them, and then use it to push your campaign. So let's say yes and see what comes next. Let's see if he's able to go and get for Abuja. That's the wedding planners in Abuja. We'll see Amatama. So let's see if that shows up. Find key players. Okay. Go to the finalist. Okay. Not sure if we're done soon. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have for Abuja, we have the wedding guru, weddingguru.ng. We have oh, okay, great. We have Shekels Bridals and Events. You have all the way to Davina Events, Fana, and it looks like you have their IG handle and their phone number. Right. Wellington Events or home energy. Okay. So yeah, and then this now becomes one of the ways that you don't have to manually go. You don't have to manually go to Instagram and Google search and all these other places. Collect details of all of these different people. The AI does it for you. Somebody else is trying to join. Let me bring them in. Just give me a second. Okay. So the AI does this hard part of building the list of all the people that are your potential customers, and then you can then focus on the job of building relationships with them. Do you understand? So if there's a report that came out November 25 of this year, it's called the I mentioned it before, Agents, Robots, and Us by McKinsey. What they argue for in that report is that work is changing. AI will do execution, and humans will do the part that require humans. That is making judgment calls, building relationships with other humans. Let the machines do all those, all the things that we used to do before, where like you're going to 50 different websites or 25 different websites to find different information to build an argument for yourself. Or you are going to many different websites, 100 different sites. You're scrolling through many different pages just to find a list of people that you should reach out to. Whenever you encounter any process, any workflow where you have to consult many different things digitally, that's a perfect candidate for AI to do. And you've seen this example here. The event scout that we just built is something that goes to many different sources, finds all the people that you need to contact, and then your business as a human being is down, reach out to all of these different people. And I don't know if you have thought about it before, but it also showed you that you can approach gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are the people that sell Ashwabi to these people that get married. So your own approach could be that before they even think of who's going to be their, who's going to be their, their vendor, their drink vendor at the main event, you're already talking to the people who sell them their Ashwabi. Or if you want to go one step closer, you could even approach tailors, and then the tailors that sold these wedding dresses would now be your go-to people for reaching the potential couple. So that's the first automation that we'll see today. That's, you can use custom gem to do it. So like I said, go to gemini.google.com. You'll find gems right here. See the gem thing right there. Click on create new, get system prompt for how you want things to behave. And that particular, like that gem you're creating is based on Gemini, but the only thing you do is that particular business process, that particular business step that you want it to do. So in Tolu's case, Event Scout goes out and finds all the events happening and finds a list of all the event vendors in Lagos and Abuja and around the rest of Nigeria. So let's now go back to the presentation. Right. Okay, great. So you've seen how this custom gem can be used to automate a process that is really complex. So another thing I want to show you is Notebook LM, right? I don't know how many people have used it here before, but it is something that you cannot do without in 2026. And I don't say this lightly. Notebook LM is something that aggregates. It can aggregate many different. Many different resources and help you build interesting results. All right. So we've looked at Gemini. Next thing is Notebook LM, and then we'll continue to the rest of what we have for today. So I'm going to show you now Notebook LM. To access it, you go to notebooklm.google.com right here. So somebody else give us another thing to explore. So in this case, it may not be a business, problem. So maybe, let's say you're trying to research a particular subject, right? You're trying to research a particular subject. So just give me something so that we're working together. So Tolu's case was Event Scout. We built an Event Scout. But for Notebook LM, we want to explore a subject, something that you've never done before. You want to understand, let's say, you hear a lot about quantum computers, like quantum computing. What does it mean? Or you hear things like, it can even be AI, right? How AI will affect photography, or how AI will affect a particular thing. It can be anything, just that it has to be a question, something that you want to learn about. So let's use Notebook LM to learn about that thing or to explore that subject. It's a very powerful tool, very important that you understand how to use it. Because like I said, in 2026, a tool like this would help you stand out in the workplace and even with the clients that you work with. So, the chat is open for anyone who wants to investigate anything. Okay, Tolu has, okay, great. Tolu has used it. Okay, great. So, is there any subject anybody wants to investigate so that we use them to do it? Okay, great. Solomon, yeah.
Okay, so let's just in line with what you said, can we look at how AI will affect customer service?
Okay. Okay. So let's look at how AI will affect customer service and customer support and what have you. So we're going to use local to do that. So when you come in here, let me just explain what this is like. It's a very, very, very beautiful and powerful tool. The first, so there are three sections, section 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The first part is where you add sources. Add sources means that you can add many different sources. You can add YouTube videos, you can add the website, you can add stuff from Google Drive, and the limit is nearly infinite because you can add as many as 300 resources. So 300 resources in this case, you can add like 300 PDFs. That's what this means. You can also use discover sources. You can upload stuff from your own personal computer. In this case, we're going to use discover sources, right? So let's discover sources. So Solomon said how AI will affect customer support, right? Okay, so what is to do? Yeah, go to the web, find information from the web. Yeah, just do a quick search and let's see the results. So let's send it. So what it would do is that it will go to many different websites. In this case, you can go to as much as 50 different websites. You can go to as many as 100 different websites, and it will get insights from all of them and help us build interesting things. When I say interesting things, I mean there's something called an audio overview. So you will see that so okay, 7 more sources. Let's see these 7 more sources. Okay, you can see these are all the sources that it has pulled out. 10 sources selected. So let's import all of them. Right. So the first step is we went to the discover part, the sources part. We entered what we wanted to learn, how AI will affect customer support. Great. We got 10 different sources and then we imported all of them. So it's now importing all of them. So once it's done importing, we'll then work with this second part. That's the audio overview, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcards, quiz, infographic, and slide deck. The power of this tool is, there's this fear that machines are going to make people lazy. Machines are going to make people lose the ability to think critically. I'll show you how you can use AI to actually improve your ability to think critically and to improve your ability to listen, your attention span. There are many ways you can use this tool to encourage all of those. So now that it has finished uploading all the sources, well, not all of them, one did not, I think two failed to upload, right? But there's a summary of everything you've collected, how these AI systems would affect customer support. So the first thing we should do is not the first thing, you can do anything first, but let's generate a mind map. A mind map is something that allows you to explore the subject from the simplest level to the more complex level. There's also an audio overview, so you can click on audio overview as well. There's a video overview. You can click on the video overview. You can click on infographic and slide deck. So you can explore, everything that is there. So whenever you click on any of those options, it starts to generate. So it starts to generate the mind map, the slide deck, infographic, or video overview, whatever it is you ask it to do. So let's look at the first thing, right? The mind map that we've generated. So if you check, it says AI and automation in customer experience strategy. The first branch is the AI human balance, guided customer experience. And if you go in, it shows you where AI shines, efficiency, right? And you've seen a demonstration of that efficiency. When we built Duluth Event Scout, that was able to go to all these different websites to collect information about event vendors and even their IG page and what have you. That's efficiency. Because if you have to do it personally, it would take her a lot of time. But you have to do a lot of because you may miss a lot of things. Right. So where AI shines, let's open that. So you see that you can see, okay, somebody else is trying to join. put them in. Okay, so let's go back to it. So I mean, so Solomon suggested. Okay, I think somebody else wants to join. Let me see. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, all covered now. So, so to Solomon's request, his question. So where AI shines, you can see efficiency, right? And then where it shines, it handles repetitive questions, provide instant answers to provide instant 247 answers. You can scale support without increasing headcount, and you can analyze data for personalization. These are all the things that AI does really well. And then you can check the second one, where humans are essential: connection, they sense emotion and empathy, they interpret context and nuance. So there are many things that are not yet, because of how dynamic we are as a civilization. There are many things that are not fully captured in the data. That's what the humans excel. The humans excel at. They can build trust in sensitive moments. Right? So there are situations where you don't want robots answering your customers' calls. And the hybrid support model, the AI first responder routing routine tasks, which means that the AI answers the call, and based on the severity of the situation, you can route to a human person. Then you have the human model where they're a specialist, and maybe it's a deeply complex situation or it's a deeply emotional situation, like handling 911 calls. AIs are not at that point. They may never get to the point where they handle 911 calls. So someone else wants to join. Let me put them in. Okay, so back to this. So the first thing is a mind map. So like I said, if you want to be competitive in 2026, you cannot do without Notebook LM. This is a tool that you have to learn to use all the time for whatever you're trying to investigate. It helps you think clearly, right? It helps you think very clearly about anything you're trying to do. The things that you may miss, the things that may not exactly come to mind. This is one way of just capturing everything mentally. So generative application, generative algorithm use cases, you can see this, right? The contact center space, strategic applications, proactive and predictive support, automated email chat drafting, conversational bots with context memory. So even if before you use this, this may be a subject that was really unfamiliar to you, but by how it's listed out almost in the perfect mental order, you're able to understand this subject much faster, right? Like you're able to understand it much faster. Challenges and ethical considerations, you can see it, and just branch out into all the ethical regulatory risks, organizational consumer gaps, right? So you look at all that stuff and quantifying ROI, right? Enterprise AI ROI. You have successful projects. So you can look at all the people who have used it before and how it worked out for them. Some people have achieved as much as 283% ROI, 6 to 12 months standard payback. So ROI calculator design principles. Yeah. So you just know how to explore this subject of AI and automation in customer experience design strategy. Right. This is what we wanted to investigate. And then he gave us these branches, and then we use those branches to investigate the subject. If you click into, let's say, any of the, let's say, use this framework. So if you click into this now, if you click any particular one, it will check everything you uploaded and give you more information about that particular subject. Right? So while it's doing that, let's see if anything else has generated. So there's the infographic part. So let's see the infographic, what it has generated. Right. So this is an infographic that was made just right now. So as we're doing all the talking, this is the infographic that has made from all the many different sources that it has um, it has pulled from the internet. And from there, we can see that the promise is that there's a high stakes promise. Successful AI projects in customer support yield 3 times and 7 times average ROI. So if we're investing, let's say $1 million into this project, there are chances that it will yield $3.7 million as ROI. And we've seen that it can drastically lower interaction costs, and automated chatbot interaction costs $0.5 to $0.7 versus $10 to $14 for a human handled call. So you can see the price difference, 70% higher customer satisfaction. So you can see that. But the peril is that 80 to 95% of projects in this space fail, right? And there's a 60% of projects face integration delays. So the systems that currently exist in that space cannot exactly fit into the demands of AI systems, or the needs of today's AI systems. And 88% of customers prefer humans for sensitive issues. So this is just something that has been generated from what we uploaded from all these sources that we got from the internet. So one other thing is the audio overview. So there's something I want to show you. I said that there's a risk, there's a fear that these systems can start to make you lose your ability to think critically. There's one way that you can ensure that your use of AI makes you smarter and smarter. And how is that? Use this audio overview. So let's open the audio overview so that you see what I'm talking about.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Just can you get the audio?
Fascinating stack of sources for today.
I did, yeah.
And they're all wrestling with what feels like the ultimate modern business contradiction.
Yeah.
How do you deliver that?
So can you confirm? Can you get the audio from my system?
Highly automated customer service,
Chasing that maximum efficiency,
while also somehow maintaining the essential, irreplaceable human touch.
It's the balance.
Can anyone confirm? Can you hear what I'm saying?
And our mission here really is to move beyond the simple
Yes.
cost-cutting conversation.
Right, and get to the strategic truth.
Exactly.
So
The goal
this
isn't
is
to choose
them having
between
a
AI or
conversation about
humans. It's about the intentional use of
subject,
both
right?
to get
The
to
14 minutes,
profitable
40
augmentation.
seconds.
And we've got it all here. There's
So what I want to
detailed
show
customer
you
preference
is
data,
the interactive
some astonishing,
so you
and I
can
have to say,
see
sometimes
there's
deceptive
interactive.
ROI.
So let's enter the interactive part. Interactive means that we can join the conversation. So think of it like this. You know how in university, or I don't know how many of us have graduated here, but you know how you have study groups where you and your friends are talking about a particular subject. This is something that you can do, and I encourage you to do it a lot with these AI systems. So let me play the audio now.
Welcome to the deep
There's a
dive.
button here
So
called
you fit
join.
over a really fascinating stack of sources
Right.
for today.
I
So it
did,
means
yeah.
that I can
And they're all
participate in this
wrestling
conversation.
with what feels like the
And so what I'm going to
ultimate
ask them now
modern
is,
business contradiction.
Right.
so
How
just
do you
ask them
deliver
a
that
question
lightning
about
fast,
AI customer support.
highly
Let me
automated?
Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Yeah, hello. I'm curious to know, what's the success rate for projects that seek to replace humans in customer support?
That is a critical point.
And thank you for chiming in.
You're exactly right.
Pure replacement, the failure rate spikes.
Because we see that 67% of customers will abandon a brand after just 2 negative experiences.
If you try to go all in on full automation, you lose that human connection.
And the ROI completely vanishes.
What's fascinating here is that the high failure rates for AI projects, 80 to 95%, often stem from that exact misalignment.
They aim for replacement instead of smart augmentation.
Right, and successful projects achieve amazing results, but they use AI to assist the human, not replace them entirely.
And we're talking about projects that are seeking that maximum efficiency,
Facing that maximum efficiency.
while also somehow maintaining the essential Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking of MTN Nigeria, and I'm thinking of augmenting the workers in the call center space. What do you think about a project like that?
That is a phenomenal real-world example, and it perfectly frames this entire conversation.
Okay, let's unpack this for a massive telecom operation like MTN Nigeria.
When you talk about augmentation, you are hitting the sweet spot.
Because if the goal is replacement, the project almost certainly fails, as we just discussed.
But if the goal is
Okay, so guys, the long and short of this is this allows you to participate in the conversation. Do you understand? Like, it allows you to participate in the conversation. So you're not just you're not just hearing from, you're not just reading text from the machines, or you're not just hearing what they said, but it becomes interactive. So you enter the conversation and it helps you to retain the information better. So it could be your notes that you upload, it could be your scribblings, it could be you can even upload images of let's say your class note, for instance. You take images of different notes from different people, upload it here. It can generate a conversation based on those images. That's something that is very, very key, and which is why I said, if you want if you want it to be that, you have a system that allows you to engage critically. So you're thinking, you're participating in the knowledge process. This is a very good tool. And I encourage you to use all the many different options here. The audio overview. Audio overview is where you find the interactive feature, which allows you to engage in the conversation. So let's check the slide deck that it made. It made us a slide deck. Okay, so this is what the slide deck looks like, right? So from automation to augmentation, the journey to symbiotic customer experience. The next one, the old playbook is broken. So you can see all the stuff. Everything that you're looking at here was made in the course of this conversation that we're having, right? So there's literally nothing that you want to learn now, like no matter how strange the subject is, that you cannot participate in, that you cannot absorb in record time, because you have slide decks, you have a conversational interface, you have flashcards, right? So you can use flashcards to test your knowledge of the subject. You have I mentioned the slide decks already here. So you have all this stuff to just help you. You have all this stuff to help you in your learning journey. So Notebook LM is a beautiful tool. I encourage you to play around with it a lot. So let's now go back to the presentation. That's the main presentation that we're working with. So far we've looked at Notebook LM, and we also looked at custom Gemini. Right? Okay, so moving forward, we won't talk about this today, but in data analysis, I gave an example when we started that somebody wanted Gantt chart last night, and what I did was I went to Gemini, and I asked Gemini to do an analysis of the data set that he gave me, and I gave him something that works. That's the new reality of work. That's how everybody's going to be creating. And the example you're looking at, what you're looking at on screen now, is the job of a data analyst, right? So there are many data analysts today, but in that particular job function is something that AI would most likely replace, or to transform in a way that becomes an entirely new thing altogether. So what you're looking at is a data analyst in Notebook LM. If you were to pay, let's say, a data analyst in the US to do the analysis of 100,000 rows of data, an average data analyst to spend, let's say, 6 hours on that kind of job, because it's a very big data set. And for that 6 hours, you're paying them $318. If it's the UK, you're paying this person £6.94. But with the Gemini analysis agent in Notebook LM, what you can do, what anybody can do, is that you simply upload the Excel file, the Excel sheet, to Notebook LM, and then ask it to produce the analysis. Even if you want to design a model if you want to design a financial model or whatever kind of model, you simply upload the data set and ask the agents to do the work. Notice what is happening here. The execution, the moving around of many different parts of the software to build a particular thing is no longer done by you, the human. You're simply just instructing the agents to do this for you and to do that for you. And the more you do this, the better you get at it. Right? Which is one of the lessons that we've been trying to drive since we started. And what that is doing is that in many domains of work, there are certain tasks that people do that the price is now crashing. So one example that I know of is that in 2022, so I was in school, I was doing my MBA back then. At that time, if I wanted to write, or if I wanted to pay somebody to write 1,000 words of a business plan, that's in the US, right? you want you to pay them to write 1,000 words, top decile GRE quality writing, which is like the highest quality of writing. You pay this person over $500 to do it. By the time GPT-4 showed up in March of 2023, it crashed from $500 per project to 0.1 dollars. And by the time Anthropic released Claude in April of 2023, the price crashed further to 0.01. So that's what's happening. That price crash is because of this new AI workforce. So you have software that is coming into the economic sphere that you simply instruct and they do certain things for you. But like I said, even at this time, only 2.5% of the economically viable work. When I say work, I mean like the full workflow of what a person does. Not just that you ask an AI to create an image or audio or this and it does that. But if you create an image, if you create an audio, you're going to feed it to another document, you're going to submit that document, you're going to negotiate with another person. The full import of what makes up work is only 2.5% of that current AI systems can do. But the expectation is that the number will keep rising and rising. And the people who will be able to excel in that new world are the people who learn how to build with these things now, know how to delegate correctly to the machines. So the next thing we're going to do is rapid prototyping, and I feel that's the last thing we're going to do, rapid prototyping. So what it means is that if you have an idea, the last thing you should do is talk about that idea. Like, don't talk about it. We're past the stage where people who have ideas just talk about them, and that's it. So if you have an idea today, the next best thing, the next course of action should be for you to document that idea. After documenting it, you can then go on to the next stage of designing that idea. And after designing it, you can go to the final stage of prototyping that idea. So you can have an idea now, right? And the next thing you do is that you go out and build a prototype. And you can do all of this. You can do all of this with with AI, right? So I'm going to show you how that works. So for this, we're going to use Stitch, right? We're going to use Stitch. For most of it, we're going to use Stitch and Google AI Studio. So those are the two final tools we're going to make. So you can use Stitch and Google AI Studio to build many interesting applications. And then I'll just take you through Nano Banana. So you've seen all of these images that people made, birthday photos, and like many different pictures, right? In fact, let's do this creative side first, and then I'll now go to the final practical. So let's just do the creative side first. I'll go into the final practical, right? So this is the the creative side of today's session. The original image that was used to make. So the first image is the original one. That's the one that is to the left of your screen, right? That's the original image. The other two were prompted using this prompt here, right? So the lesson here is that if you have one image, right? If you have one image, you can use to create in many different ways. Especially if you have a product, that you sell. Tolu mentioned that she sells drinks. So whenever you have, let's say you have one image of your product, one image of your drink, you can put it in the snow. You can tell the AI, put this in a store. You can put it in a BMW, right? So you can make it that a CEO of a multinational company is drinking something that you made. So you can have another prompt where you have people who are really happy around a stand that has your name, right? So what it means is that you can have many different photos to promote whatever it is that you're trying to sell simply by prompting, right? You have all the images you're seeing here, they're all AI generated. And so what I was saying earlier to Tolu is that you can have a product if you have a product like this, you can put it in many different environments at literally no cost, right? your drinks, you can have all kinds of people around them. You can have people laughing. You can have women and children around your drink stand. Just so you're selling the idea of an experience to your prospective customers. Same thing here. If it's clothes that you sell, you don't need many different models to help you model your clothes. What you just need is that design that you have, the design of whatever material that you have. Take one very good picture of that design, one very good picture of that design. I can wear it on different people. You can wear it on people in New York, in Amsterdam, in New Delhi, in Kigali, wherever. You can put them in many different environments, right? Same thing if you have a character. So what happened here is that they de-aged the character. This is character evolution. They took one picture of a person, this particular one, and then they made her look young, they made her look middle-aged, and then they made her look old. You can do same thing. So you can have, and this is for UI UX mockups. You have one image and then put it in many different situations on many different screens. These are things you can do. You can have one logo. So in this case, the orange logo, that's the one at the top left, is the original. Then they put it on paper, on a paper box, on a face cap, on this card holder, and this bangle, and even on the bag. So before you purchase anything, you know what it looks like. So what you're looking at is a video of, it's called Dapper Diplomacy. So let me, so this channel, if you go to Twitter, X, what they do is that they produce videos of babies. Like they make babies, they put babies in serious adult situations, right? And they have a lot of following. I think there's a Nigerian equivalent. What they now do is that they make videos of Nigerian babies saying many different, really funny things. You can use these video generators to create all of them. This particular example, I posted it on LinkedIn, and it got 369,000 impressions. 191,000 people viewed it. Just a simple video that was made with an AI generator. And one thing that happened recently is TVC. TVC decided to make an avatar of all their presenters. So sometimes when you're watching TVC, the person who is reading the news is not the real human person. No, the human may not be in the studio, but they can use the avatar of the presenter to create to make them read the news. So they are gesticulating, they are saying everything they are saying. It's so natural, like everything is natural. But it's not the human that is actually making that presentation. They're using an AI avatar to do it. So if you like to learn how to do something like that, simply go to heygen.com. Yeah, you'll get this presentation, so you can use it to practice when this is done. There are people that are making AI podcasts. So there are many different tools. There are many different AI podcast generators that you can use to create conversations about virtually any topic. So if you're a person who you feel that you have a lot to say, but maybe you don't have the recording equipment, or you don't have all the paraphernalia to make it happen, there are lots of AI podcast generators that can help you do that. All you have to do is feed it the script, feed it the topic of conversation, guide the conversation. So you're more like an executive producer. You're directing, or you're also scriptwriter of this thing, and you're generating. You're making 5,000 podcasts in 1 week. In fact, there's a Nigerian band. You may want to check them out after this call. They're called Danfo Hustlers. They've released, I think, last time I checked, it was over 10 albums in 2025. There's no human being that can sing 10 albums. I don't know how he wants to do it. You can never, ever do 10 albums in 1 year. Except maybe the guy has been recording all his life and he just said to release everything in 1 year, which it doesn't even make sense. The real reason why those guys are doing what they're doing is that they use AI to generate all their songs. There are music stars today that are AI generated. I think there's one that is currently in court because she resembles someone or sounds like another person. So there are people who are pushing all of these artists. Danfo Hustlers that I mentioned to you is a Nigerian pop group, but they're not real. There's a human being behind them. The one I've really followed is they're called The Velvet Sundown. It's a jazz group. they make all kinds of sounds. If you go to Spotify and all these other music channels, you see that they have at their peak they had over 1 million monthly listeners. They're not real. Somebody just prompted them using this software Suno or Suno AI. So what I'm trying to say is that one of the things that can help you stand out in this age is your ability to just do things. So you can decide if you want to make audio podcasts, you want to make video avatars for TV studios, or you want to make like you want to make apps that can help businesses automate something really simple. We can do all of that stuff. What you're about to see now is a video that was prompted using Veo 3. Right? Veo 3 is Google's text to video model. So if you wanted to produce something like this with normal CGI VFX, it will cost you a lot of money, a whole lot. But the prompt that was used to make this, I'll send you the prompt when we're done with this class. So you can test it out yourself. So let me play it again so you see. So what this means is, let's take Tolu for instance. Tolu can make a video where using one image of her product, maybe let's say pina colada or maybe Long Island or whichever cocktail that you make, right? So you can have one picture of your cocktail, and you can make different things fly into a cup, right? Maybe there's an explosion happens, and after that explosion, you now have your cocktail formed there. And then you can have another thing, maybe something that comes and says Tolu's drinks, or however you want to do it, right? Or you have an event, an upcoming event, you want to use CGI VFX to animate the announcement. You can make things like this. So this is also something. So there are many people that sell phones that have Instagram pages. Maybe you may approach them and say you want to help them animate their product. You can do something like this. Right? You can make things like this. You can make product videos like this, just using these are things that are all possible now. You simply upload the video. The main thing that controls the final output that you get is a prompt that you give to the system, right? And when you get this slide, you see all the prompts that were used to make the things that you're looking at, right? Same as this one. So again, this applies to Tolu and pretty much everybody who sells drinks. So you can have a picture, and you can make the product bubble out of the picture. What you're seeing are just examples. You can spin it in whatever direction that you want. I mean, you're creative, and you serve a God that is infinite in his ability to create. So it means you also have infinite creativity also made in this image. So you can make this you can take this in any direction that you choose to. So let me play this video and you see how this behaves. It's something you can also do by yourself. So let's hear it. Right?
I saw the law.
So yeah. So let's now go to the example that I mentioned earlier. So the final thing I'm going to show you for today. So if you have an idea, what's the next thing that you should do? Right? What's the thing so let's say you have an idea now, I want to do this, I want to do it. So what do you do when you have an idea? Let's now go to the final tool that we're going to use today. It's called Stitch. Stitch.google.com. So for this, I will need one more idea from the audience. So just give me an idea, anything you want to build. So it can just be anything. It doesn't have to be. Just give me an idea for whatever it is that you want to build. Right? We'll build it here. We'll get the design here, and then prototype it. So the floor is open to whoever wants to go.
Yeah, please, I just want to ask.
So the Desmond?
Yeah, my name is Desmond. So, so I want to ask, Stitch manage like Uber app.
Uber.
I say a mobile application.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
like a mobile application for a photography business that
Okay.
that sell online.
Okay. 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 So let's do that. A mobile app for a photography business. So let's do design for that, right? So I want right, a mobile app for a photography business in Lagos, Nigeria, right? Includes all services in the dashboard, right? Right. So let's go here. So let's just tell it to generate the design. So it's producing the design. Let's see how long that's going to take. Right. So we're working with Bass's yeah, design all over this. Yeah, so it's going to make all this. So it's going to make the welcome screen, services dashboard, portfolio screen, the booking and contact screen. Yeah, proceed. Let's make all that stuff and see what that looks like. Right. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so the first one is showing up. Let's see what we get. All right, showing all the screens. So you just have to wait and see what comes out of it. Okay, so we're waiting for it to produce the final thing. So somebody asked for the link. Let me just send the link to Notebook LM for the guy who asked in the chat earlier. Yeah, so Desmond, you have the link to Notebook LM chat. Okay, so I can see the initial, initial designs. So let's see the final thing that comes out of it, and then proceed to prototype it, right? So the welcome screen is almost done now, but we can see the welcome screen, the services dashboard. Okay, great. So it's done now, yeah. So this one, can you see? We have the welcome screen, right? Lagos to our lens, primary event and photography. We have services dashboard, wedding photography from 250,000, portrait and headshot from 50,000, event coverage from 150,000, fashion and lifestyle from 100,000, You have a portfolio, the portfolio page. You have let's create together, the booking and the contact page. Then our studio in Lagos. So the next thing is let's just turn all of this. Let's make all of this come alive. So to do that, where is that option? No, hold on. Just give me a second. Let me get this. Okay, so you can click on any of these, right? So any of the designs that have been generated, right? Hold on, you can generate a prototype. So you can get variations of the design. You can prototype it instantly from here, right? So you can just click on this and um, you know, do an instant prototype, right? You can prototype it here or regenerate. What I want to do is like build something that has all of them inside of it, right? So I'm going to download all the photos. Download, yes. Download again. Right. Let's also download this. Download, yeah. Right. So I've downloaded all of them. Let me just see where I saved all, so it's easy to get all the. Yeah. Okay, so downloaded all of them, all 4 screens that we made. Let's now go to the place where I convert all of them into something that works. So Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio. Yeah. Okay, so I have this is where Google AI Studio is. So something to note is that this space allows you to build any kind of like a lot of applications, right? You can build virtually anything that you want to build right here. You can add you can add conversations into your app. You can animate images with video. You can use Google search in your app. You can do a lot of things right here. Like you can do many interesting things inside of this space. So let me see if I can find a space that contains all the Viper generators. Yeah. So you can add all these many different things into your app just to make it a lot more interesting. But for now, I just want to upload those images that we generated, right? The images that we generated earlier, the design that we generated rather. Okay, seems like what to welcome screen. Okay, hold on. Let me unzip all the files first. Let me just get them out. Downloads. Okay, so let me open a folder where we keep everything that we got. So just give me a second and put them all in a folder. So let's get everything to one folder. All right, so this is here. Let's get a second one in here as well. Oh, sorry. Okay, so one. So let me just put everything in order. Two, yeah. Okay, yeah. So take the second one. Put it in two. Then three. And four. All right. So that should be the final one. Okay. So I think we have all. This screen. So this is a welcome screen. Okay. This is the second one. That's the page that shows you details. And the third one is booking page. I think we missed one. Hold on. We missed one page. That's true. I think the second one we missed it. Yeah, so this is the only missing the portfolio page. So let's take that and put it in the final one. I have all of them now in one folder. So let's now upload to Google AI Studio and see what we're going to get. All right. So files. Desktop, yes. This is somewhere in the folder. One. Yeah. Yeah. Put this. Okay, great. So we have that one. Let's upload more files. Let's get the second upload. That's two, right? Upload both of them as well. Let's now upload the third one. And the final one. Okay, so this is all of them. Everything is right here now. So the simple thing we're going to do is because the design captures what we want to do. That's the idea of having a photo app that allows people to see our portfolio our services, and then they can book. We'll just tell it, make this app real, right? Make this app real, and then tell it to build. Right? So it starts to work based on all the designs that we have fed to it. It gives us something that actually works in the degree that you can click around and you can click around the app. And if it's something that is already sufficient for the public to interact with, you can actually deploy it. But to deploy it, we then need to provide your credit card details and all that information for your users before they can start to interact with the app. So let's wait for it to, well, I mean, we can wait for it to finish, and then we will then see what the app looks like. Right? Icon choices, it's building out all the details of what it should look like. So when I started and said that when you have an idea, the least you should do is document it. Documentation, I mean, you can produce something called a product requirement document, or the PRD. Produce it, which is everything that this app that you have in mind, or this solution that you have in mind, everything that it should have. You need to do that. And after that stage, you should then be able to produce a design. Like you saw with Stitch, we have a design of what this photography studio is going to look like. It may not be high end, right? But it is something that is useful enough that if you want to have a conversation with somebody who, let's say, is an investor or whoever, you're not just talking to them about something that is in your head. You're talking to them about things that you can present visually. They can interact with the things that you have on screen, or things that is a link you can share with them, and then they can go and play with this product that you are trying to pitch to them. So instead of just talking about it, you're actively participating in the process of discovering your product. So let's wait for this to finish, and then we'll close with something called the 7 archetypes of future work. So I mean, if you're really worried about what the future looks like, what kind of jobs will exist in the future, the final conversation we're going to have is just something that addresses that. What I encourage you to do after this is Notebook LM, Stitch, Google AI Studio, play with all of them. Just have as much fun with all these tools as possible. There's another website I will give to you called there's an AI4that.com. On that website, you can find thousands and thousands of AI tools, and you can filter those tools by the job category and by what you want to achieve. Right. So let's say you want to build something, you want to start making AI podcasts. You can simply go there, type in AI podcast. It can show you, let's say, 50 different tools that you can use for AI podcasts. You can try out all of them and see the one that works for you before you then decide to pay for whichever one. Right. So let's wait for this to show up. It's loading the screen for Lagos Lens, which is the app that we designed when we started about 30-something minutes ago. And now we seem to be finalized. We almost have a prototype now for how this app is going to work. So once we see that, we then go on to the closing parts of the conversation, and of course Q&A as well. So if you have questions, we just choose. All right, so this is the Lagos Lens app. Let's do mobile view. Right, so it's exactly what we need. Right, our services. See the app will just finish creating. Right. So let's click on book a consultation. So book a consultation. Let's create together. Right. So you can see the app we just finished prototyping. Like I said, if it works, like if you've made something that actually works, like you've done and this thing actually works as it should, right? If everything checks out, you can actually deploy from this place. And deploy from. Let me go back and there's something. Hold on. right? So deploy is from here. You can share what you're doing with people. Like you can share your workspace with people they need to see, wanting to contribute to what it is that you are doing. That's something you can do. So Notebook LM, Custom Gem, Google AI Studio. So the website I said I was going to share with you is this website. There's an airforthat.com. Right? There's an airforthat.com. This site here. I'll drop it in the chat. Drop this in the chat. So if you have a need to find AI tools and can work many different things, that's the perfect site to discover as many tools as possible. There's an airforthat.com. Then what else? Okay, great. Let's now round up. Let's now close for today. Let's go back to the main presentation. Okay, so everything we've said so far is that take this technology seriously. You have to really take it seriously because it's beyond. So everything we've said so far is beyond all of these things. The name of the game is hyper efficiency, but beyond that, it's eventually going to be something that changes how society is organized at a very fundamental level. To the degree that it's going to be a question of identity. What makes us humans when these machines are so capable that virtually everything we're doing, they're able to do. And like it goes beyond the stage of just augmenting people. Augmenting is that, like in the customer support example that Solomon asked us to investigate, you are pairing humans with these systems so that the humans do the part where the AI doesn't understand, emotional intelligence, empathy, being handling sensitive situations. Well, the machines are getting better and better, and at some point, it could be that virtually anything that we can do, they'll be able to do. So at that point, what becomes of society?
I saw the Lord extending the timeline. The year was 20.
Started, with these videos. I think it's important to play this video again and help you see it again. That even 30. The church is taking this really seriously, like really, really seriously. This is a technology that will change how everything happens, how we create things, how we share things, and ownership rights. Everything is going to change. And one of the best ways to participate is by working with technology as much as you can now, create with it, build solutions with it. The way that you work on your own, change how that happens for you. And the more you understand it, the better it is that you're going to be able to help other people. So I'll play this video again and then we can round up.
I saw the Lord extending the timeline. The year was 2035. Science, tech, AI, and religion had joined hands into what appeared to be an entirely innocent alliance. I found myself in 2040, and listen, or any of those companies anywhere even in existence, but man had outrun themselves and were no longer entirely in charge. 2035 was the beginning of utopia and Pandora's box. But 2040, the utopia seemed to descend into a dystopia. Man, for the first time, was no longer the apex. Our creations were now creating themselves. Cancers were being all but eradicated. Men were making medicines that seemed to erase the death gene. Babies that were in certain countries being mandated to be microchipped from birth. I saw Switzerland, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, and much of Western Europe becoming forefront leaders in a world order. Then the Lord brought me back to 2025, and he said these words: you have 5 years left. 5 years I will give you to build your ark. 5 years to build your Goshens. 5 years for the church of my people to decide whether they want to be the head or they want to be the tail.
Okay, so there, one way to, be the head, like I said, is to pay as much attention as possible to what is happening. Um, there, the way what is going to evolve is in 7 different ways. So you have people-centric positions, registered nurses, psychologists, firefighters. These are people that typically have to deal with humans 99% of the time, except when they're doing administrative work. But their job involves that they interact with people a lot of the time. But if you go to things like sales reps, teachers, HR specialists, and some other professions, um, these are people that will collaborate a lot with AI agents, and they will also build AI agents. So if you know someone who is a sales rep or um, a contact center specialist, that's someone who has to, contact center, as in they have to face humans and computers. So it's not just about behind a computer. These are people that do people agent works, right? So collaborating with collaboration between people and AI agents. Then you have agent central positions. Accountants, software developers, lawyers, a lot of these professions will change to the degree that agents will do most of the work. So you go to a lawyer, maybe you're asking him to draft a document or that, or maybe they need to draft a document or need to research a particular situation. These systems will be able to do all of those things at a very high level, right? And then you have agent robots systems, machine setters, bakers, library assistants. Agent robots are systems where you have agents, that's AI agents and robots just doing all the work. No humans in the loop. Like there's only for humans in that kind of setup. Then you have people agent robots, future work where people, human beings, agents, and robots are needed in roughly equal measure. So receptionists, medical assistants, correctional office positions in the first world countries will be in this category. Majority of us here will function in people agent and agent centric positions. Right? And then you have robot centric roles like in order fillers, welders, stockers. This law is mostly done by robots, and then people robots positions in installation workers, industrial construction workers, and what have you. To all be in that position. So if you're thinking about the future of work, one of the best documents that you can read is McKinsey's Agents, Robots, and Us. I've mentioned it like this is like the fourth time I mentioned it now. That's where you'll find this the seven archetypes of future work. So that's the conversation for today. I hope this has been enlightening and worth your time. So if there are any questions now, I will take them and just so we can round up. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. So if there are any questions, sure, I can take them now and then bring this round.
I think somebody is raising up his hand.
Yes, I have a question. I don't know if I can go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. John. This training is phenomenal. In fact, thank you. We are so grateful. My question is simple too. Is there, if as a student, if you use AI to do a work or to do a project work and you submit, schools nowadays have another AI system that can detect plagiarism. So if you have used AI for the work, they will know with another program. Now, when people make content with AI, maybe pictures or videos, are there other programs we can use to detect if they were not real and they are AI manufactured?
Yeah, so for pictures, you can you can use Gemini. That's the Gemini app that we used to make that custom to it. You can upload any AI generated image and ask it, is this image AI generated? If it's a video, videos are just a bunch of images stitched together and made to like over time. It now looks like this motion picture. Then you can insert the audio into it, right? So it looks like so that makes up video, right? For video, what you can do is take a screenshot of the video and feed it to Gemini and ask it if this images AI generated. It will give you a response. So they've made it that you can use Gemini to detect images and videos. Does that answer your question?
Yes, very well.
All right. Okay. So next question.
Okay, so the next question is, can you just tell us more? I know you've mentioned a few. Maybe you could just go over it again. So, or maybe like you promised, maybe drop some of the sites we could go so that we can learn more from what you have taught us. Thank you.
Okay, so I dropped one site. There's an AI4that.com. Can you see it in chat?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you can copy it and paste it into that. For people that don't can see that.
It's been dropped on the group.
Okay, great. So there are hundreds of tools you can use. Thousands, not even thousands.
Okay, any other question? Or you need clarification? Okay, I guess there are no more questions. Okay, I think I would ask for everybody, what's the easiest way to start earning with AI? Like, tell us something that has the lowest barrier for entry and something you can probably learn in a week.
I'll say it's images. Like you can use image, you can create interesting images for businesses. If you know a tailor, you can tell them that you can give them, you can get the designs of their clothes, and you can create models wearing their clothes, many different models wearing their clothes for them. So you can do that, and you can even make videos of those models. I'm sure you can convince one or two people as it starts to pay for that kind of service. So I think something like that would be a response.
Okay, thank you so much. Final call. Any more questions? Okay, I guess not. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Thank you so much, Orakwe John, for your time today. We really do appreciate you. We know how much you would have paid if we had gone outside to have this class. So thank you so much, and have a nice day, everyone. Oh, and thank you so much, the convener, as well, for doing this for us. We're so grateful. All right, bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All right, bye.